Hi, I'm Corinne Lesh with FedScoop, and I'm here with Manjula Abur. She's the Associate CIO for Big Data Analytics at NASA Langley Research Center. Thanks for being here with us.
Thank you, Karen.
So why don't we start by talking a little bit about how big data impacts your agency and what are some of the innovative approaches that you're using?
Okay, thank you for that question, Karen. NASA, I guess everybody knows about what NASA does, and we are actually celebrating 100 years next year. My center, NASA Langley Research Center, we call it home, a mother center. That's where entire NASA started 100 years ago. So even before the big data has become such a focus, NASA's lifeblood is data, always has been. For all our innovations and discoveries and all the flights into space flight, everything is driven by data. So always data has been the focus. But what is happening now with these exciting technology developments in machine learning and machine intelligence and data science is it's giving us more power. It will help us to harness more and more power and knowledge out of the data we have been using. So now we could even, that would help us to, the second part of your question is what innovative approaches we're using. So we are collecting more and more data, but at the same time we are looking to these technologies, how could we help our scientists and engineers to accelerate their discoveries, to accelerate the design of the systems, to accelerate the flight designs. You know, we always do very unique kind of space flights, you all know that. So how could we leverage all the data that has been collected, not only by us, even by others, and how could we leverage that? So this is where the power is coming to accelerate the discoveries and accelerate the system design, and really we see this as helping our scientists and engineers so they could be even much more productive and innovative.
And what are the sources of the data that you're using, and how has that changed over the last few years?
Yes. So we collect or we gather data in many, many ways, always have, and then now we are having more sources and more of data. So the key sources of data for NASA comes from experimentation, and that could be in the labs or wind tunnels, and also flight tests of various kinds, from sensors, from satellites, and from robots, the robots that are on the Mars. You know, everybody knows about Mars rovers. So what's happening is these are the sources of the data. Now what's happening with time is we are collecting more and more data. There are more satellites, there are more sensors everywhere. So we're collecting more and more data, and we also added in last few decades the simulation, modeling and simulation. So it's like experimentation by modeling and simulation. So we are creating even a lot more data from that. So the data quantity is increasing, complexity is increasing, and also other thing I want to mention is the communication channels from space to Earth are improving. So we're collecting a lot more data from the satellites and much faster pace. So in a way that is giving us an advantage, so we get a lot more data, but also a challenge. How do we integrate all of it and harness it for our discoveries and accelerating our space flight designs?
Right, right. And how does the research center protect citizen privacy while still making good use of the data?
Yeah, for us, I think, Karen, the privacy is not so much the citizen privacy, it's the protection of data. NASA, of course, is an open agency for most part, but at the same time, we cannot share all the data with everyone. Depending on, we do have a lot of policies and processes for tagging the sensitivity of data and what is shareable and what is not shareable. So it goes through a process. So the data that we do want to share, we are focusing more and more on sharing it. Actually, we have really good examples in earth science or atmospheric science and also space science. So we have a huge, we call it data repositories across the country that are collecting the satellite data and making it available to all scientists across the world, I think across not only the United States, but the satellite images, especially Mars and all of that, there is a big space science repository that's being also publicly available. But even the research data, which is a little bit harder, actually one of the emphasis now with the current administration is making research data available, so that way there could be more scientists outside of NASA's ecosystem that could leverage it, and which would enhance and accelerate the discoveries. So we are focusing on that now. The challenge there is you have to provide the context or provenance along with the data, so it's actually interpretable and usable for other scientists. So we are working on coming up with platforms that would do that, and also I want to mention one strength we already have and we have had for a long time in data dissemination or information dissemination. We have scientific and technical program. NASA has scientific and technical program, which focuses on disseminating all our published peer-reviewed open literature in an open way. We actually make that available to everybody. So now we are extending publications to underlying data, also making it available. That's a little bit more challenge, like I explained, providing all the context with it, and also having a data management system that would help them to interpret it right way, so they could do more with the data. Okay, so I hope I answered your question.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, thank
We
you.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Karen, and thank you.
I'm Corinne Lesh with FedScoop. Thanks for watching.